Good morning. It is December 13th, 2018. We're here today with Rosie Coyle, who is the City Clerk Treasurer for Columbia City. I'm Deb Lowrance, and this interview is for the Peabody Public History Oral History Project. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's early.
I know. I haven't had enough coffee yet.
Oh, I understand that completely. Tell us what you do.
What I do?
Mm-hmm.
I keep all the records for the city, pay all the bills, all the payroll for every department, police, fire, city, utilities, take care of all the grants, take care of the cemetery funds. It's quite long.
Yeah. And also you can perform marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Did mine.
Yeah, well, good.
How long have you been at this?
I've actually worked here in August was 53 years.
Wow.
And became clerk. This is my 9th term, so 36 years.
And it is an elected position?
Yes.
Okay.
I run every 4 years.
Okay.
I've worked under like 9 mayors.
Wow.
Or I should say with 9 mayors. And I was kind of looking back in the history, there was actually clerk treasurers, there's been 5, including me.
In the whole history
Since 1930.
Wow.
Yeah. So Franklin Dillman, who was the clerk when I started, had been here. I think he was here 36 years. And he pretty much, I was like his secretary, and that's kind of how I learned a lot of this stuff.
Into the...
Yeah. So, but when I started, it was like, I started when I was a senior and just never left.
Wow.
I did like all the board minutes. Oh, that's something else I do, is take care of all the meetings for the city. And I did a newsletter for him, and then I started helping with some of his book work, and I liked it, and so I decided I would stay.
Very neat.
Yeah.
So, any interesting things that have come up? Some strange bills or that you can discuss?
Well, unfortunately, we do disconnects too on the utilities, and now this was the previous clerk, but we had somebody say because they shut her utilities off that she couldn't afford her birth control pill, so she got pregnant.
Oh, Jiminy!
I always thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, they have a lot of excuses. But I think when I think back of when I first started here, everything was done by hand. It was all paperwork. And, growing up in my era of school, everything was done on a typewriter, And when they first said, well, we're going to switch to computers, it was like, I was scared to death, And now everything's on computer. It's just a lot of book work. And everybody seems to be going paperless now, but I still have that urge. I want it in front of me. I want it. It's a touchy-feely thing, I'm always afraid it's going to get lost, but that is a major change. And then when I first started here, the police and fire were together, and the dispatchers would run the fire trucks. So if a call came in, they'd leave dispatch, and sometimes I'd go over and run the radio till a police officer could come in. They'd leave and run back and get the trucks and go to the fire scene. Yeah, it was. Now, it's so technical on the dispatch side of it that it's just amazing, That to me was a dramatic change.
Sure.
And like I said, going all computer, it's just tremendous difference. But other than that, I'd say just the everyday it seems like things are changed. Before, everything like the year ends was all done on paper and sent to the state. Now you have to get on the computer and upload all your files, and it is quite a change.
Yeah.
So.
Brian kind of let me in on a vault yesterday. Can you tell us about that?
Our vault? Our vault downstairs has all our storage of old things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're required to keep your records so long till you've been audited. But there is a shelf up there that I have old things that I've ran across that I've put back there to make sure it got saved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got, from the very beginning, the handwritten minutes from the meetings, and it's really interesting to sit there and read some of that stuff. Some of it's hard to read because of the way they wrote it, but it's clear back from the very beginning. It's full.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's
that's amazing.
very interesting. And the City Hall originally, I mean, I've seen pictures of how it used to be. The fire department was the horse and buggies, and it just kind of grew from there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in high school, we used to go upstairs to the dances. They'd have dances up there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and at the end was a stage, and I guess originally they had a lot of big celebrities, not celebrities, but elected people come here, and they would have them up there, and they'd speak to all the citizens, and it was quite the thing back then. And then they turned it in just to a dance hall, and I mean, all the kids in high school would come to those dances.
Real.
And they'd have like just DJs like Whoa at the time. People that worked for them would come over here, and then eventually we've made it all into offices, but yeah, it was, and there was a something called the teen canteen down there, where you had to be a certain age in high school to get into that. But they'd have like pool tables down there, and
wow,
and the older teenagers could go in that part of it.
That's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun. Trying to think what else. Being right across the street from the courthouse, you probably see a lot of interesting things that go back and forth. You get to watch Santa every year.
Yeah. Yeah, from my office it's really neat because I watch him bring in the Santa house, which has been every year. And then they have of course the firemen have their Christmas thing on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Which has been going on for years and years, and how people have said they came with horse and buggy. That's the only thing that kids would get for Christmas was the fire department's Christmas candy.
Wow.
And yeah, it's quite a tradition for them.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But yeah, it's a busy place.
Yeah.
In the summer, we take care of all the pool money, and that's the other thing is to watch how that pool's.
Yeah,
it was sentimental. A lot of that's sentimental to me because, I've grown up with it, and now we have the beautiful aquatic center, and it's like, wow, how time changes.
Yes.
And, how 30 never used to be there, and it was, when I first started here, it was, the main 30 was the out past, the Culligans out in that way.
Right, out Lincoln
Lincoln
Way.
Way.
Well, we call Lincoln Way, but it was 30 at that point.
Yeah. So it's been interesting to think back of all the things that's changed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to tell us about?
I can't think of anything right now. It's very interesting because I'm on Facebook a lot, and I'll see people post these pictures. Do you remember what this store was and what this store was? And I feel old because I think I remember those really well.
Yeah,
because I used to go there,
So, next door is the Clugston. Changes there.
Oh, yeah. I went in there when, because I used to go there when I was a teenager because they'd have bands in there, and that's when they had quit having the rooms and stuff upstairs. But when they actually decided they were going to make it into a senior housing, went in and kind of toured the building and stuff, and it's like, wow, this is just so much different now than it was back then. The other thing I was going to remember was when I was growing up, and actually when I was still working here, they had the movie theater where Star Bank is now.
Oh.
And so like on Thursdays of Old Settlers, everybody would be closed and they'd have free movies, and the line would be all the way down the sidewalk.
Wow.
The kids getting in, and then they'd stay afterwards and go to the Old Settlers, because it was a big deal then, but it was a lot of good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it get a little hectic around here on during Old Settlers?
Yeah, it does, because of all the people uptown, and
no parking,
and they come in here and they use our facilities down front. I mean, there's people in and out of here all the time. But,
yeah. So you have always lived in Columbia City.
yes.
So
in
what-
the country until
when
I
you
got married.
Yeah. When you'd come to town, what was your, other than the movie theater and everything, where did you go?
I would say main thing, and I mean, it's funny how back then what was exciting for you, we lived about 5 miles out of town, out of Coesse, and like on Saturday night we'd come to town to go get groceries, and that was exciting to me. You know, or my father would take us skating almost every Saturday
At Happy
and-
Valley?
Yes.
Cool.
A lot of good memories there. And we'd also come into the Dairy Queen. At that time was over on Lincoln Way,
Oh, really?
where Culligan's is, over that way. And that was a big deal for us. Or we would come in and go to the shows at the movie theater and go to Old Settlers. I mean, back then it was like a one-day thing. Okay, you go to Old Settlers, you go on Thursdays, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe when you live out in the country, you know, it's different than if you were in town and could walk uptown. But there was very special things. I mean, you wouldn't think going to the grocery store would be exciting, but it was for us.
And where'd you go to the grocery store?
At that time, I think Kroger's was over here on Main Street, or Van Buren.
Really?
Yeah. And then Williams Food Market was right there in the parking lot where Star Bank is.
Okay.
And so we would go there or go to Kroger's. But, yeah, it was a big deal for us.
What was it like growing up in Coesse?
Oh, yeah. It was very exciting because we lived actually a mile over. So we'd ride our bikes over there because all my friends lived in Coesse, and we've even talked about that, about how Edith Hunsaker owned the little grocery store there where the fire station is now. And so all of us kids on our lunch hour at that time could do this, would walk over to the grocery store, her little bitty grocery store, and buy penny candy. And it was just a big deal. I mean, she'd have ice cream that you could buy, but it was kind of a little community, and Campbell Ranch at that time was full blown. You know, they had all their horses, the Campbells, and so we would go. They also had a show, like a horse show in the summer,
Oh.
and we'd all go to, and it was we were really close, all of us kids that lived in that area. I remember riding my bike up and down the dirt road when they were making 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
how cool.
I know. It was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be amazing. And so us kids would all get together and we'd ride our bikes up and down that dirt when they were starting it, you know. And I'm trying to think of something else out there that was, it was just a neat little place. I mean, you know, we loved the old school, and
we went to school at Coesse.
all 8 years, and it's like when they changed it over, they hadn't changed it over yet when we went to high school, but it was very interesting. It was just like, gosh, you hate to see those things change, but you gotta change, you know.
Sure.
And you think, and you go in there, like my granddaughters used to go there, and I'd go in there and I'd think, wow, this is so different, you know. But
So the building is not the same as when...
no, it's all, they remodeled the whole thing. But at that time, you know, of course you couldn't do that now. If that grocery store was there, walk over. But
Right.
but everybody remembers that, how that was their hot spot of Coesse was that grocery store. So, and she was very strict, but she loved all of us kids, I'll tell you.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, she was a great lady. So, and those are mainly my memories.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Learn some things today.
I know. It's,
So,
yeah, there's a lot. I mean, as you get older, there's a lot of people that don't remember that stuff.
absolutely.
And
And
then
that's...
when you bring it up, they think, oh, I do remember that, but it's been so long ago. But that's one thing everybody remembers that went to Coesse was that store. It was just an exciting place to be.
That's neat.
But,
Well, we thank you for being with us today and for sharing
Well,
your
thank you
memories
for
and
coming.
letting us know what you do in this office. And many years to come, I hope.
yeah, well,
If you want.
yeah. I enjoy what I do, and I love the public. I love, you know, trying to help people. And so if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be here, but I do love it. And I know someday I'm going to be gone from here, and it's going to be tough, you know,
Absolutely.
because it's kind of a family
Yep.
to me.
Yep.
You're home away from home.
All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you.
Well, thank you.